Only thing it really changed for me was nap time. When am I gonna nap, and how long is V allowed to nap? Other
Mhm.
than that, it's whatever. Just gotta figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
What's new and exciting, homie?
What's new and exciting, homie? Beautiful day. Just relaxing. Day off. Uh, I saw pretty much every fight last on Saturday.
Cool.
Saw the whole card.
When you say every fight, that's not like when other people say every fight. You probably also watched the BKFC, and you probably watched the Eddie Hall versus Thor fight. Was there
Nah, I
Bellator
didn't
too?
watch.
You probably watched Bellator. Did you watch any Muay Thai that day?
I do watch Bellator. No, I did. It was strictly I was working, so it was just pretty much just caught all the UFC that day.
Okay, got
Um,
you, got you. What was the standout fight to you?
Hopefully our my underdog of the week for all you Josh Moody followers out there. I hope you took it. Marquand Amirkhani by some got the win by submission too. If you bet the submission prop, you is plus 400 or plus 500 depending on where you bet it. So that's it. We got there. We got one for the good
Very
guys.
cool. Very very cool.
We were I think yeah, we were just personally I was just a Gunnar Nelson finish away from sweeping the whole card. But his opponent decided to take the I'm just going to let you bludgeon me, but I'm not going to let you submit me today route. That was it.
Yeah,
It's so annoying. Like you can do whatever you want, but I will not be submitted today. I have no chance of winning this fight, and I'm getting embarrassed on what TV or whatever. But you know what? You won't submit me, and I'll take that with me. And
I'll take that with me. I didn't. I survived Gunnar Nelson.
that's
Right.
yeah. It's so like it's so annoying because like when you actually have a bet on it and you see it play out, you're like, is this guy and is this gonna sit there and do nothing? But it was I think the only one that surprised Corey McKenna. Corey McKenna stunk. That was the only like surprising like performance or loss. She showed a pretty poor grappling too. Based on what like everyone expected and what we saw, like she should have like better ground and pound or she was
Yeah.
I mean, she was past the guard, then went back into the guard, which is not something a good grappler would ever do. And then she just let her opponent up in the third round after having like almost 3 minutes of top control in the most crucial round. And she just decided like, okay, I'm gonna get up and let you up. And it like what? Like I don't know. You just can't account for that stuff. That's why they call it gambling. Um, and that was it. It cost her the fight. She lost a split decision. She could have easily won unanimously if she just sit on your opponent, keep her down. I mean, they weren't even near the fence, and she had a full side control at that point. She just said, "You know what? I'm good here, guys." Then she just wanted to get up. I can't
Yeah.
can't
I
can't explain it.
She was largely unimpressive in that fight. Now, and that's not to say that she's not going to be an impressive fighter, but I wasn't impressed
Right.
by. I was not impressed by her performance. That's my George St. Pierre shitty French accent.
Is that what it was?
Uh,
I thought it was Mexican.
yes, that was very Mexican. It's very Mexican of me. Another accent that I'm no good at. Um, Elise Reed should have was a very she's a she showed to be a predictable striker, effective
Okay.
striker, but like
Yeah, she threw the hands well in that fight.
but you could always see largely what was coming next, and McKenna didn't do a lot to capitalize on those moments.
Okay,
Um,
that's a good tidbit from your end, the fighter's end.
right, like the only thing she was really throwing was a powerful straight, and she was leading with it. Corey
Mm.
McKenna's corner man, not Justin Buckles. I'll think of his name in a second. The dude from Alpha Male. Um, Fought Tony Ferguson at one point. Fought a lot of people. Doesn't matter. He was talking about she's throwing a naked right. Let's just try and
Hmm.
split it. Like she's not setting it up with anything.
Hmm.
Um, that should have been an easy thing to counter,
Right.
right? But it just didn't go that way. What is that dude's name? This is gonna bother me so much that I can't think of his name. Um,
Team Alpha Male. Is that your
Danny
area?
Castillo.
Is that
Danny
Wisconsin?
Castillo.
Is that the Midwest?
No, Team Alpha Male. They're in Sacramento. That's Uriah Faber.
Oh, okay.
Team Alpha Male is Uriah Faber's squad.
I don't know why when you said he fought Tony Ferguson. I was just thinking Anthony Pettis and the Midwest. Duke Rufus. I guess I don't know why.
No.
Wrong team.
Completely wrong team. A couple people I've known have gone out to Team Alpha Male from Wisconsin. Like Rick, what's Rick's last name? Rick Glenn is from the Midwest. Trained at Rufus Sport for a while, then trained at Pura Vida. He moved out to Sacramento to train at Team Alpha Male just because he didn't have the bodies he needed locally. But yeah. Anything else you want to cover from last week's card? Nikita Krylov making the most Nikita Krylov move ever, and the Bear Jew capitalizing.
He did it. It's so ridiculous. And yeah, the Bear Jew was just kind of chilling there, waiting for him to do something like that. He was in no hurry to get up, even though his face was getting punched off the mat. And that's that happened. What did you think of Patty Pimlet's? I mean, I guess.
It's probably just because of the amount of hype behind him, but I don't find myself especially impressed by Patty. Right? Like, I think if nobody was talking about Patty and I watched him, I would have a different impression. But people who don't actually follow MMA are like, oh, have you heard of Patty the Batty? Like, why have you heard of him? Like, he's had one fight in the UFC. They're like, oh, he's an incredible grappler. Like, what do you mean he's an incredible grappler? And then I watched him and I was like, he looks like he's just a striker to me. And then people are sending me flying triangles. Like, okay, so he's super aggressive. That's what you're interested. Like, he just seems reckless to me. He just seems super reckless. Now, when I went back and watched his fights and he was 22 doing these things, like, oh, okay, awesome. But he doesn't, I don't know. I'm not on the train. He's clearly a quality fighter, but I am not a part of the hype train. He hasn't done anything that makes me believe he's going someplace special.
Okay.
He's just a dude who does a good job from the media perspective.
Yeah, he definitely had that place rocking. So yeah, from that aspect, yeah, I'm sure the company loves him and wants to build him up. Which, I mean, maybe that's why they threw him a can. I don't know if they threw him a can, but that can almost blew up on him. That he caught him. He caught him early.
I mean, that's the way that the fight game is supposed to work. You find a prospect who's got places that he can go, and you don't throw him to the wolves. You give him winnable fights that will test him in specific areas.
I agree.
Right? So that he goes back, he sees, okay, these are the areas where I need to improve. These are the areas where I already excel. Clean some stuff up. Next fight should also be a winnable fight for him. And then the fight after that should be someone that's truly a test. Someone who, so the next fight should be winnable. The fight after that should be someone that he can't take down. Something like that. Someone that he can't take down and is unlikely to immediately knock out. Right? So then you can see more of his development. Because this fight, I didn't learn anything about Patty, except Patty's better on the ground than I thought he was. Based on his first fight, I just thought he was a striker.
He looked pretty smooth. Yeah, he transitioned to the grappling really quick. I thought he got his hooks in like it was nothing. He was just like smoothly got this. I think if I'm not wrong, I think his opponent made a really big mistake though too, right?
I don't remember.
Point. Yeah, I don't know if maybe you would have saw it. I think he made like a crucial white belt-ish mistake, and that caused him, maybe he gave his back away when he never was supposed to, or something. Like he wasn't in danger or something.
Yeah, the judo throw, the Harai Goshi, I think that's what that one was called, was nice, but that is the current meta game. That's the direction that MMA is going, right? So used to be that you put somebody against the cage and they couldn't go anywhere, and it was really easy to take them down because they didn't know how to defend. Then people learned how to defend against the cage. It started being they learned how to wall walk. So people started looking for the cage. They get takedown, they look for the cage, they'd wall walk their way back up to their feet.
Mm-hmm.
They'd separate, they'd reset. Wrestlers had to learn how to take people down against the cage. All right, awesome. Then people had to learn how to defend against the cage. Right. Currently, the default in MMA is to go for singles and doubles and try and drag people to the ground that way. So people are all pretty good at defending those things.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're seeing now is judokas are using the overhook to prevent wrestling style takedowns, and are looking for opportunities to work on their hip tosses. If you want a long form explanation of this, Jack Slack put out a video called "A Filthy Casual's Guide to Islam Makhachev." It largely talks about the way that metagame has developed. Luke Thomas put out a video on Shavkat Rakhmonov, citing that every single time that Shavkat, in each of Shavkat's 3 MMA UFC fights, his back has been pressed against the cage, and in all 3 of them, he has been the one to secure a takedown from that position. And it's always been with an upper body throw. It's always been with a judo style throw. He has a couple different ways that he sets it up, but like that's seeing that Patty's doing that, like, okay, he's keeping up with the game. He's not just working on old stuff, he's working on new stuff. Can you hear V?
Yeah.
Wonderful. She's supposed to be sleeping. I'm gonna go try and find something else for her to do because I woke her up. That way we could go back down for a nap in a little bit. I'm gonna go put her. I don't know where I'm gonna put her, but
on your lap,
right? And then she's just gonna grab at stuff. We'll try that in a minute.
She's gonna join the show
because I don't need her jumping and screaming and whatnot.
Hello, V. Hi.
Little Vizzle.
Yeah,
little Vizzle.
That was so he got the win. Molly McCann had a sick knockout. That was cool. I guess we saw that kind of like we predicted. Her opponent just couldn't really keep up with her like level of like ferocity.
Aggression.
Like she was too much. And Aspinall looked great. Great. Looked in control. He looked very, very comfortable. And looks like he's ready for a top 5 heavyweight, which can bring us to this week's card because we can get some heavyweight division clarity.
I absolutely thought that Aspinall was going to win that fight. I had no idea he was going to make it look easy like that.
Yeah, no, nobody beats Volkov that easy.
That was super impressive.
Yeah.
All right. So this week's card, bottom to top. First fight of the night looks like it's Luis Saldana.
Yep.
Versus Bruno Souza.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know who either of these two are.
I do.
Perfect. That's your job.
Yeah. I love it. Bruno Souza. So Bruno Souza is a Machida protege. And I think he's very underrated going into this fight. And I also think you're getting a great price on him, which is really rare. If you're going to get a great price on someone, my personal algorithm has him. He should be more like a -200 favorite, and he's more of like a pick'em right now. So I'm all over Bruno Souza in this fight. Luis Saldana, nothing against him. I just think poor striking defense. His hands are always low. I don't think he has a grappling edge in this fight either. I think Souza has perfect pedigree to win this fight. I think you're going to get you get sick value on him right now if you bet him. It's a pick'em fight as of today.
Got you. So you're not necessarily thinking that Souza's going to win, but you'd rather...
no, both. I think he's going to win, and you get value on him, which is rare. So I think it's good.
You. Well, entirely to be a contrarian, I'm going to pick Luis. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know either of them, but I do like Machida, so I'm actually rooting for the other guy.
Right.
Matthias Nicolau versus David Dvorak. I have heard of Nicolau, so I've probably seen him fight before, but I can't place him offhand.
I think he fought Tim Elliott last time. Is
that why?
Maybe.
That would make a lot of sense, because I always pay attention to a Tim Elliott fight. Matthias Nicolau. Let's see. Yeah, his last fight was... Oh, he beat Tim Elliott, too. That's very impressive. See,
I,
yeah, Tim Elliott makes people look bad. If you beat Tim Elliott, you're a good fighter. And
okay.
before that, he beat Manal Kopp, who has a tremendous amount of hype behind him. And the few times that I've seen him fight, a lot of it is justified.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's seemingly wise beyond his years when it comes to the fight game. Like people around him respect his opinions on how to do things,
Mm-hmm.
despite that. I mean, I'm making up his age, but he's like 25 or something
He's
like that,
young.
and
Yeah, he's young.
people 93, 2 years younger than me. He's 28. Then yeah, 28. And 5 years ago, people were like, "Oh, you know more shit than people actually like. People your age should know." That kind of thing.
Okay.
So if he beat both of those guys, like Matthias Nicolau is going someplace.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who David Dvorak is, so I'm going with Nicolau.
All right, I'm against you in this one, so
Ha!
I'm totally I'm totally on Dvorak. I think the line actually reflects that because I don't think there's any way he should be a favorite over Nicolau. Nicolau was a pretty big favorite his last two fights. He was a huge favorite over Tim Elliott, and he won. But I didn't think he fought like a guy who was um like a 4-1 favorite over Tim Elliott. I mean, Tim Elliott too is a really good, really cagey grinder. Smart veteran. Usually always in a fight. He's tough to finish. So I don't think I think a lot of what he did in that fight though to get the edge because Tim Elliott won the first round, I believe, um,
Usually.
against Nicolau, and then what really played out for him to get back in the fight and get control of rounds was takedowns. I don't see him being able to take Dvorak down that easily. His takedown defense is really good. And even if he does, I think his get up game is good enough to where he'll be able to get up. Like Nicolau's top control and everything against Elliott wasn't that great. He was able to chain wrestle takedowns to get the better of Tim. I don't think that's happening.
Wait,
So I
wait, wait,
think
wait, wait, wait. This guy. Wait. Repeat the last thing you just said. Who was chain wrestling who?
Nicolau was able to chain wrestle takedowns against Elliott.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Because Elliot's like takedown first type dude. Like his
Um,
main thing. That's okay. Yo, you got me even more excited for this fight.
Maybe, yeah. See, you like the other guy, then you should really like the other guy. I don't. I think Dvorak stuffs him and wins.
Hmm. Chris Gutierrez versus Dana Batgarel.
Nice. I like Batgarel here. Um, I like Batgarel. I think he has a big power advantage in the striking. Even though Gutierrez is mostly he's volume heavy, leg kick heavy. Doesn't really have pop finishing power. I think Batgarel is going to be. I don't think he's going to be able to stun him with his leg kicks like Gutierrez likes to do. Um, and I think Batagral, who's also I think is just as good as a striker, but I think he has the big power edge. I think you're going to see that in the shots. So I do like Batagral.
Do you have any idea how? Ow, V. Why are you digging at my cuticles, girl? You got some daggers on your fingers, kid. Do you have any idea how long Batgirl's been at Jackson Wink?
I do not.
Hmm. They don't do a good job of building fighters. They do a good job of game planning.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody in the top five is training of any division is training out of Jackson Wink right now.
Probably not. No, you're
Um, but now part of that is because Greg Jackson has retired, and that was the actual mastermind, right? So
okay.
like Winklejohn's an excellent striking coach.
Mm-hmm.
Six Gun is a wizard, but the dude that held it all together was Greg Jackson.
Yeah.
And he works with like four people now. Doesn't work with regular fighters. But over the years, people who go there and try to build their way up
Mm-hmm.
don't tend to make it. They don't do a great job of developing new talent, but they do a very good job of taking established talent, giving them tremendous game plans, and working their way from there.
Okay.
So that's always interesting to see when people are still training out of there. It looks like not. Well, whatever. I don't know anything about Gutierrez either, but I think I've seen him fight. I've seen both of these guys fight once or twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I do know who Gutierrez is. I'm going Gutierrez. 100% I'm going Gutierrez. Who did you pick?
Batagro.
All right. Sarah McMahon versus Carol Hosa.
Ah, what an interesting little fight this is. So Carol Losa she's like a 2.5 to 1 favorite, minus 250 right now against Sarah McMahon. So Sarah McMahon, 41 years old. If you've ever watched Sarah McMahon's career, you're probably disappointed in more ways than one. I mean, how one-dimensional she is. But she's doing it at 40. I mean, she's about to get in the cage at 41 and a half, 42 against like the most probably like a really hyped young up and coming prospect, Cal Rosa, who's I mean, this is going to be striker versus grappler. Rosa's got a world's better like striking advantage. Rosa just light strikes up, especially against people that can't get out of the way or have poor striking, don't have a striking knowledge. I think did she fight Roxanne? Did Cal Rosa fight Roxanne?
I'll find out in a second.
Who did she fight last time? She fought somebody within the last 2 fights. I forget somebody. I'm thinking of someone. She fought someone who was, and
her last fight was Betch Kohea.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of that veteran, like that was like that, and just couldn't get out of the way, like slow mover, like didn't get out of the way, and I mean she just lit her up with like strikes, like tons of strikes, like just bang, 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 like I mean any way she wanted, just lit it up. I don't think Sarah McMahon's going to be able to change that if it is, but she is going to be able to wrestle. Sarah McMahon usually she's going to get her opponent to the mat at some point. We haven't seen this chick Cal Rosa. We haven't seen her what's she going to do when that actually happens. It's a 3-round fight. If she gets stuck on the ground and doesn't have a way out, not that Sarah McMahon is really good at maintaining and pressuring and pounding and getting like finishing other girls, like, but I don't know. It's I know that Cal Rosa, they say, has a jiu-jitsu black belt, and we've seen Sarah
that doesn't mean a lot when they come out of Brazil.
Yeah, you're right. And when you're facing a really physically stronger wrestler, especially a veteran wrestler,
an Olympic caliber wrestler,
that also plays a part in how you're going to get your submissions. But we've seen Sarah McMahon get guillotined mad times in her career. So I don't know how that is. So I mean, this is a tough one. I mean, this is definitely a no bet as far as for my purposes. I mean, I would go with Rosa, like pick a Rosa, but I think it's closer than. This is going to be a tough fight. I think people are thinking this is an easy.
She has never been guillotined. She has been Sarah McMahon. Never.
She got guillotined against Pena her last fight. What?
Nope. Her loss to Pena was a rear naked choke. Her loss to Marion Renault was a triangle choke. Her loss to Ketlin Vieira, I can't believe she lost to Ketlin Vieira, was an arm triangle. Lost to Amanda Nunes, rear naked choke. Lost to Miesha Tate by decision. And lost to Ronda Rousey by knee to the body.
Okay, so maybe so she's been submitted. So I take back. So
over and over, she gets submitted.
For some reason, I thought she got guillotined off, but she's been getting so she's victim to the submission. But I don't know how. We don't know how great Rosa's submission game is because she's mainly a striker. So I don't know. I would go Rosa, but I think it's going to be close. This is going to be close. I would avoid this fight, even if you're betting parlays, anything. I would avoid it.
Yeah, I'm going McMahon. I don't think that Carol Rosa can finish her. Almost, she seems to be a decision machine, but she also loses decisions. And as far as I can tell, Sarah McMahon pretty much only loses to the top, other than that fight against Ketlin Vieira, who's like gross. Not That's not a comment on her aesthetics. It's a comment on her ability.
Right.
Okay. So 100%, I'm going McMahon there.
Right.
Our next fight.
I like it.
Jennifer Maia versus Menon Fiora. Hey, that's my finger. Stop biting.
Yeah, this is pretty much. I think this is a little step up for Fiora. Like I think she beat Brazilian girl last time, Bueno Silva, I think, and now this. So I think Jen Maia's style is a little bit of a step up for her. So I think, like you said before, they're doing a good job of not just throwing her into a fight she's not ready for. I do think she'll have a lot of success here, though. Jen Maia just struggles with. She's very slow in striking. She's just not. She doesn't seem like an explosive striker, explosive type athlete. She did take Valentina down, and probably gave Valentina her toughest title defense. I think, right? Went 5 rounds. I think she might have won a round or two.
She won round 1.
Jen Maia won round 1.
Definitely.
Okay, and then she probably did. She won a round maybe, and then she lost. But she was, she did a lot of good things in that fight.
In that round. I don't know about in that fight, but in that round.
I don't remember the fight all the thing, but I thought she.
It was one round where she made Valentina look like a human. She took Valentina down and held her down for the entire round. Didn't do a whole lot, and we were like, "Oh my god, Valentina's human!"
We were never doing
that. Kind of like in round 3 of Khabib versus Al Iaquinta, right? Where Khabib takes that round off, and Al just lights him up for 1 round.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the fight, you're like, "Oh, this is a Khabib fight again." Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that had happened against anybody other than Valentina, it wouldn't have been nearly as impressive.
No, I understand. Yeah, and I didn't. Jen Maia just was blown out last time against Chookagian. I mean, it wasn't real. It was a walk in the park. I don't. I assume Jen Maia is gonna try to get this fight to the mat and see where she stands. I think you're gonna be impressed with how physically strong Fiora actually is in the clinch situations. She's strong. She looks to me very strong. I don't know if she's been taken down yet in UFC, but even if she has, we've seen enough where she hasn't been down that long, and she's usually right back up. She's right back up. And so far, I don't know. I think Fiora wins this one fairly easily.
Yeah, she looks like she's pretty athletic. I mean, she's pretty jacked. That girl looks like she's pretty strong.
Yeah, she's very strong for the division.
Yeah, I'm going Manon Fiora. I don't actually know how to pronounce her name, but that's the one I'm doing. The French girl.
You got a good French accent.
Fiora. The French speak the air that moves over their tongue, whereas the English speak with the tip of their tongue.
Manon Fiora.
Anyways, who did you pick?
Fiora.
All right. Neil Magny versus Max Griffin.
Neil Magny.
100%.
So I always take, right, I'm always taking, so here's the thing on Neil Magny. If Neil Magny has a reach advantage over anyone, and they're not an amazing wrestler, Neil Magny is usually going to do well in that fight. Otherwise, it's like a little gambling tidbit. Otherwise, bet against Neil Magny. That's the thing. But it's a tough fight. I wouldn't bet this fight. I think the line's right actually where it should be. Neil Magny is about a 2-1 favorite, so there's not really any value in betting. But I'm going Neil Magny to get this done, get a win.
Yeah, I looked through Neil Magny's losses predominantly, and he only has 2 losses to people that are not like super elite grapplers. Right, he's got 9 losses. I think 2 of them are by decision, and like the only ones that aren't to super elite. What was the thing I just said? The word for people that go to the ground? Grapplers.
Grappler. What are you?
Yeah, right. Santiago Ponzinibbio beat the ever living shit out of him.
Yeah.
Lorenz Larkin caught him cold in round 1.
Yeah, Lorenz Larkin's got power though, so yeah.
And then I don't know what happened in the Seth Baczynski fight,
I don't remember that.
right? But like other than that, and then he's got 2 other losses that are so far back I don't really care about him. Mike Ricci, who knocked him out in round 1 by elbow, and then Andrew Trace, right? But in general, he is one of the most dominant fighters in UFC. Like, he puts a pace on people that they cannot keep up with. Like you said, his reach is stupid long. He's 6'2" with an 80-inch reach. Like, to put that in perspective, John Jones has an 84-inch reach. 84.5-inch reach. Yeah.
It's that long?
Right? It's that long. Like, your height and your reach are supposed to be equal. So 6'2", his reach should be 74 inches. He has 6 extra inches of arm.
Wow.
Yeah. Max Griffin has a 76-inch reach, and he's 5'9". So that even Max Griffin has stupid long arms. He's got 7 extra inches of arm.
Right.
But like, nah. I haven't seen anything out of Max Griffin that says that he can grapple at such a level that he's going to give Magny problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen anybody other than the Pawns really put it on Neil Magny. Littlest Fizzlest. Here, have more of your little puff things, and then I'm going to feed you and put you to sleep soon.
Yeah. All right.
Next fight.
What do we have?
Oh, wait a minute. We're missing one of these. One of these didn't get caught.
Well, one change in opponent that I think we can skip that one because I don't think anyone knows either of those 2 opponents.
Yeah. All right. So we don't need to actually bet on it. But the 13-0 dude is going to smash the guy who's 24-4.
All right, I'll take that too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know anything about that fight, or I don't think anyone else does, so we can move on.
Yeah, I briefly looked into him. The homeboy who's got a picture on Google is going to smash the dude who doesn't have a picture on Google. And that's not just because that one has a picture.
All right.
You okay? You okay? You could be okay, vis-a-vis? You get good at this eating thing. Main card.
Let's go. 5 fights left.
Ooh. Mark Takesi versus Slava Claus.
Slava Claus, Contender Series hero. Slava Claus looks pretty good to me. I liked how he looked. His first UFC fight, I guess, if you will. I thought he looked pretty good. I think he's going to be able to stop the takedowns at one point or another of Diakise. I think he's going to have the striking edge. I don't think Diakise is going to be able to put him to sleep. So I think I like Slava Claus.
Yeah, 100% Slava Claus. Homeboy has over 300 kickboxing fights.
Does he? All right.
Yeah. He's the striking coach at Team Alpha Male, which means he works against wrestlers all day long. In the one fight that I've seen of him, he does a very good job of slowing down shots. Doesn't even stuff them. He slows them down, and then in one case, he neutralized the drive-through and drove the guy backwards to his own butt, climbing into half guard and pounded him out from there.
Nice.
Right? Or he'll do things like put his hand on your head and your hip to slow down the shot, and then beat the shit out of you while you're in referee's position or in turtle. Like, it's right. Stupid. The stuff that he has the eyes and the patience and the wisdom to do are not normal.
Okay.
And it's the kind of stuff that only comes out of Russia, where they've been fighting since they were children.
Yes.
Like, I guess if you had Thai fighters who once the Thais get big in MMA, we'll start seeing that kind of stuff coming out of Thailand as well.
Okay.
But other than that, like, it's how weird was it when you saw Giant Jack Black dude Khalil Roundtree when he threw that body kick on the way up against Carl Roberson.
The body kick, yeah.
Right. That seems really weird to everybody else. because it's not there's no martial art that teaches that. You have to have a certain presence of mind to be able to do that, because that's illegal in any of the component martial arts. That technique is illegal.
Okay.
Right? The people that are the best at MMA are the best at blending arts and existing within that gray area. Right? So you have to have a strong presence of mind, which is why it was so impressive that he did that kind of thing.
Right.
You're so loud. You're so loud. Yeah, 100% Slava Claus.
All right, we're on Slava Claus. Next fight.
Ilir Latifi versus Alexei Olenek.
Oh man, the boa constrictor. Who else can Ezekiel choke like this man? Nobody.
Right.
That being said, I don't know. Like I love rooting for Olenek. Especially like I think we talked about last week. Like people are starting to compete in MMA like 40 and older. I think Olenek, how old is he? 44?
Shit, he's got to be almost 50.
He might. Oh shit, he might be that old.
44. He's 44.
44, I guess. I think yeah. Like dude, like he's. I mean, he didn't look that. I mean, he lost his last fight, but he went the distance against
This is going to be his 77th professional fight.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. I don't really think he had a chance to win the fight against Spivak, but he went the distance, and he hung on. He struggles with. It looks like he struggles with power strikers on the feet at this stage of his career. Like he struggles with that. I mean, Latifi does he have power? Yes. I don't. Is his takedown defense amazing? No, but can he handle a 44-year-old Olenek who doesn't have amazing takedowns as it is? Probably. I don't know. It's tough. It's close fight.
He doesn't have excellent takedown defense.
Who?
Latifi.
Does he have excellent takedown defense? I would say probably not. Or we would.
Interesting. I'm not disagreeing with you. He's like a national wrestling champion.
Okay.
So the idea that he wouldn't.
No, excellent. If it was excellent, I mean, it would stick out. Like we would be like, oh yeah, this guy has amazing like takedown defense. I don't think. Yeah. So I'm not seeing.
No. He does have amazing takedown defense. His takedown defense is 100%. He's never been taken down in the UFC.
I don't know. I question that stat.
He fought Corey Anderson. Corey didn't take him down. Corey beat him. Let's see. Who else was OSP usually tries to take people down a little bit. That's about it.
I feel like he was down his last fight. He was on the ground a little bit.
Maybe. I mean, he ended up on the ground against him, and he took down Derek Lewis. He's like a Greco-Roman national champion from Sweden. Now, the two-time national wrestling champion fighting out of Sweden. Sweden seems to be the only country in Europe that wrestles, right? In like Western Europe that wrestles. I don't know why they wrestle out of all the places.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go. I mean, I'll go with Latifi, but it's close. I don't know. It's
I think Latifi is smart enough to stay off of the ground with Olenek, and I don't believe that Olenek can. Like Olenek doesn't take people down; he pulls guard, and idiots follow him.
Yeah.
Right. People get overzealous. Like you'll hit Latifi, you'll hit Olenek, and Olenek will fake like he's hurt and go to the ground, and people follow him. Same thing that Fabricio Verdum did to Alistair. No, not Alistair. Fedor. Okay. He faked being hurt against Fedor. Fedor followed him to the ground, and then he was able to submit Fedor with that. Right? Red Schaefer did the same kind of thing a couple times. Would fake being hurt more than he actually was, just to encourage grappling.
Right.
Okay. We both got Latifi. Askarov versus Kai Kara-France.
Oh, I'm on the Askarov hype train. 100%.
As you best be.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that guy do some incredible things. And no disrespect to KKF, he looked good his last fight, and he's on. He's great. But I don't know how well the City Kickboxing protege is going to do against this level of. I've seen Askarov get clipped too, but he didn't get stopped. I don't think Kai Kara is going to be able to stop him with strikes or stop the takedowns and chain wrestling. I think he's going to tire him out eventually, and he should win comfortably.
Yeah. Askarov is an Olympic caliber wrestler. Now, he wrestled in the Deaf Olympics, but that's like being deaf does not change your ability to wrestle.
Okay.
Right? So it changes who the criteria of people that he competed against were, but
Mhm.
he's still a Deaf Olympics gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Askar comes from a part of Russia so remote that he doesn't speak Russian.
Yeah, they got their own language out there. All right.
Yeah, man. I was in the room with him and Timur Valiev, and Timur is like talking about Dagestan and how it's all a bunch of different mountains. And he points at one guy and says, speaks Russian and mountain language. Points at Askar, speaks only mountain language, does not speak Russian.
Okay.
And does not speak mountain language of that guy. Does not speak mountain language of that guy. Speaks only his own mountain language.
His own mountain language.
Right?
Yeah.
So wherever Askar goes, they send him with a translator who was his wrestling coach. So his wrestling coach speaks Russian, and they have to translate into Russian, like from English to Russian to whatever his mountain language is. And Askar only has like 20% of his hearing or something like that.
Oh, damn. How about that?
The stuff that I've seen Askar do in person against the best of the best is stupid.
Okay.
Much less what you've seen him do in fights. And I've only seen the guy train like 10 times.
It's great info. Wow. See, this is great info that you can't get anywhere else. Wow.
Ridiculously high quality, right? Like he attacks submissions from places that you think you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people will try to submit you from inferior positions. Very few intelligent people will try to submit you from inferior positions.
Mm-hmm.
Even fewer will be successful. Almost no one will be successful on a regular basis. If you get him to a bad position, he'll just finish you there too. He's stupid good. Stupid good.
I love it. So I'm gonna up it. Yeah, I'm gonna go Askarov by. I think Askarov gets a finish now. Now that you're telling me that, maybe he'll find.
He seems to be more of a decision machine for some reason, though. Like he hasn't gotten a lot of finishes in MMA. Like, no. But that being said,
but that's hard.
His last fight was Benavidez. Nobody finishes Benavidez. Alexandre Pantoja, who's another top fiver. Tim Elliott, who's super hard to finish. His very first UFC fight was against Brandon Moreno, and he fought Moreno to a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you go, and now that he outside of the UFC, he fought in ACB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Okay. Guillotine, twister, anaconda, rear naked choke, TKO punches, rear naked choke, TKO punches, submission armbar, TKO punches, rear naked choke. Like, the dude is uncommon amongst uncommon men.
I agree.
Oh, the year after he took gold at the Olympics, he took bronze at the Worlds. Stupid good. Stupid good. Matt Brown versus Brian Barberena.
Is this the co-main? This is the co-main event?
Nope. Joanne Wood versus
right. Matt Brown, Barberena. Probably gonna be a great fight all around. I'll go with the immortal Matt Brown, but no, not a bet for me. But I'll go Matt Brown gets the win.
Yeah, Brian Barberena does well when he takes people into deep waters. Matt Brown is the reason deep waters exist.
Nice. I like it.
Like, Brian Barberena fights you for 3 rounds and drags you out into the deep waters. Matt Brown brings the deep waters to you. Like, it doesn't make sense. The only person I've seen really stop him from doing that is Robbie Lawler. And Robbie Lawler met him with power the moment the fight started.
Right.
All right. Little Vizzle, you're causing problems. Joanne, not Calder, still would. I love the fact that she just took off part of her last name.
Right.
That's how like, I'm not called her anymore. I'm just Wood. Versus Alexa Grasso.
Yes, here we go. Alexa Grasso. So I'm gonna call this my upset of the night. I'm going with Joanne Wood.
Really?
Even though she lets you down with her fight IQ, I still think the blend of striking she has is going to match up really well here. I'm still going to back up. I think Alexa Grasso's still a little overrated. I'm gonna go with someone who is well rounded, that can kickbox, that can grapple if need be. I'm gonna go with against a straight boxer, Grasso. I think Grasso has a speed edge. In her hands, I don't see her having that much power. Bad matchup for JoJo last time. She took on Santos, who's just wrecking ball. I think she took that fight on short notice. She was a late replacement, and she got finished, which she doesn't do a lot. She doesn't get finished. Before that, I think her fight IQ came on display again against Lauren Murphy. She lost that fight, but I'm gonna go with the veteran here that has more tools in the tank. I think Joanne, she needs to win. She's on, I think, two or three losses in a row. I think she'll be focused in this.
Is she? Is she on 3?
2 or 3.
JoJo. Yeah, JoJo lost to Talia Santos and Lauren Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
She beat Jessica I, but what does that mean anymore?
No, nothing.
She's basically 1-1 since she's been to the UFC. And she's been in the UFC forever.
Yeah, she's been in the UFC a lot.
Since her first UFC fight was 2014. Mm-hmm. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just back and forth the whole time. I do not expect that Joanne Wood is going to be able to take this fight. I think that footwork beats Muay Thai. Muay Thai fights on straight lines. Because of the way that Muay Thai is scored, they don't have a lot of value in. You're basically dissuaded from backing up based on the rules. Like, if you take a step back, it looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
Versus boxing doesn't care if you're moving forward or backwards as long as you hit and don't get hit. Right? So Grasso comes from a family of professional boxers. Like, 3 of her brothers are professional boxers, and her father was a professional boxer. So her understanding of distance, timing, reactions, and angles is next level. Like, she's been doing it since she was a little kid. Jesus, daughter. She needs to go to sleep so bad. So bad. So bad.
We're almost there. One more fight.
Right? One more fight.
That's really good. That's really good info. That's really good info from you about breaking down Muay Thai versus boxing. But we'll
that being
see.
said,
I don't see Grasso stopping anyone. Which, I mean, it's a division thing, but I don't know. I think JoJo is, with a game face on, is going to be able to. I think she's going to be able to keep Grasso back. She's going to have a leg reach advantage with her legs. I think they're about similar with their hands. So we'll see. But we'll see.
Yeah, Grasso only has one stoppage in her professional career, and it was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, she's not a finisher.
Not a finisher at all.
Right.
Curtis Blaydes versus Chris Daukaus.
Main event. Philly. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not a homer in general, so just from the Philly area. As much as I'd like to see Daukaus knock Blaydes out, we've seen Blaydes' chin is suspect, but that's only against like elite power. I feel like like Nagano, Derek Lewis have stopped them. I don't know how. I think Daukaus is going to be. It's going to be rough. I think Blaydes is going to be able to take him down a lot. It's a 5-round fight, which also doesn't bode well for Daukaus. Daukaus has a legit BJJ black belt. I don't know if he has a wrestling background at all, nor I don't know if that's going to matter. I think Blaydes Blaydes has a big advantage in physical strength here, wrestling ability. Blaydes can also, I've seen Blaydes throws his hands well. I don't think he's not slow. I mean, his hand speed's fast. I don't know if does he have knockout power with his hands? Maybe
He just
not, but
doesn't know it yet.
he's got really good ground and pound from what I've seen. When he gets on top and holds him out, he's got ground and pound. Blaydes has a lot of talent. He's just run into dead shots. He's running to the heavyweights for whatever reason. But this is a big fight for Blaydes. He's got a clear path here to get back in interim title or heavyweight title contention with all the questions in the division. And I think now that he saw, I mean, the Nagano-Gon fight, I mean, he's seen what was happening on the mat between them two. I mean, he's got to be motivated to get this done. I mean, I think Blaydes wins this fight by finish, maybe third round, fourth round. I think the wrestling is going to tire Daukaus out, and I think Blaydes gets the TKO.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about what round I think, but I definitely was thinking Blaydes.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going with the thing. I wouldn't. I don't advise betting round props, but I do think
Ever?
I think Blaydes
or in this
round
instance?
props. No, I would do like a finish prop, but as far as picking the round someone wins, no, I wouldn't. That's a really losing bet long term, big time.
Got you. So our swing fights are going to be Grasso, McMahon, and then the first three of the night. Right, we agreed on the rest of them.
All right, I like it.
Gutierrez, Nicolau, and Sledanya are the fights that those are the people I picked in those fights.
Yeah.
And then last week we went 9-9.
9 and 9.
Wrong on.
We'll give you. I don't know.
You were wrong on the Bear Jew and Cody Durden, and then I was wrong on Sarah McMahon.
You had Durden too.
No, I didn't. I had Mokaev.
Yes, you did. No, you remember you said Cody Durden.
I don't know anything about Cody Durden, but I was excited by the Dagestan. No, that was you.
I thought I remember you saying like I'll take Durden. All right, no problem.
Go look at the thing. I didn't change it. I added you to it. You're an editor too.
It's all good. I know. All right, it's fine.
All right,
we're even.
It was a pleasure. Yep, me versus the algorithm. We're even. I gotta go put this baby to bed. Hopefully she actually sleeps. Deuce.